Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. I am ItsKim, and welcome to ItsKim Live. The show where I talk about pop culture topics that I care about. I'm a pop culture commentator, and this is the way that the show normally works. We usually start with the main topic, which is what you see in the headline, like the title of the video, as well as the thumbnail. Then we move into our halftime section where I communicate with my beautiful, beautiful community of space angels who are all coming in. It is so good to see you all. Hello, hello, hello. I love how I just looked around like I can see all of you, and I can. It's that kind of day, guys. I'm sorry. Then we have a fun section towards the end of the show called What the What, where we look at something from the internet that is interesting, fun, crazy, all that good stuff. I haven't seen it. It is courtesy of my co-pilot and partner in crime, producer sister, who is here.
Hi.
And we are excited. We're going to be continuing our What the What from Monday today. Which was a lot of fun. So I'm excited to do that. If you are watching on the replay, there will be timestamps available, so you can jump around and watch whatever part of the show you so choose, or you can just watch it in full like it was originally presented. I do want to say right off the bat, thank you so much to General Scott, who has sent in a PayPal. Thank you so much, as well as 5 memberships, 5 gifted memberships. Welcome to the 5 new Space Angels. And we've just started, so that's awesome. Thank you guys so much. The generosity is felt and appreciated. And my goodness, today's already been a day. I've been laughing to myself quite a bit, to the chagrin of other people. But we're going to have a good time. We're going to have a good show. We've got some news to go over today, catching up on some stories, and I'm excited to get all into it. Producer sister, How are you?
I'm okay.
You're okay?
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good.
Just had a win, so.
Pardon?
The thing I couldn't figure out for the stream, I just figured it out.
Oh,
so
really?
I figured it out.
Yay! That happy moment. Alrighty. Okay. So I do have to wait a couple minutes before I get into the main topic just because of the subject matter we're going to be getting into today. I do my best to make sure that I'm following the YouTube community guidelines, and sometimes there are certain things that I can say that they don't like within the first few minutes, so I'm trying to be careful. We'll ask you guys, please remember to like and subscribe now that you are here. Very, very appreciated. Nicole, are you whelmed? Oh gosh.
We're not over, we're not under.
We're just whelmed. Exactly. No, I've just been laughing because I received a comment that made me laugh. Somebody did not like that I was laughing. I can't help you. I laugh here. We have a good time. That is what we do. So feel free to laugh here. That's part of what I know. We talk about really serious stuff, and that's part of why I have the palate cleanser of the What the What, because I think it's really important to balance the serious with the funny. I, as a person, cannot just only look into essentially the darkness. I think that's really bad for you mentally, and which is why I try to find humor in life. It is a coping mechanism for me, and it makes me happy. So, yeah, there's that. Alrighty, well, let's get started. Let's get into things. Yep, we got some updates today. We have a Justin Timberlake update. We have a Matthew Perry update. And we have quite the Diddy update. I'm actually kind of excited to get into all of it with you. In the sense that I'm not happy about the circumstances that this is happening, but I'm always happy to hear from people who may otherwise not be able to speak, and that's part of what we're going to be going over today. So, here we go. Let's go through our disclaimers. This stream is going to include speculation and opinion that should not be taken as fact. Always do your own research, and links to the sources that I've looked at today are in the description. So if you want to go and see where I got my info, it is there. You are welcome to go check that out for yourself. And YouTube human reviewer, hello. We have done our absolute best today to ensure this video is appropriate for your community guidelines. Like, I did a lot today to make sure that it was appropriate for your guidelines, because we care about this platform and we'd like to stay on it. And viewers, please do not send hate to anyone, famous or not. Anyone. It's not cute. We're all entitled to our opinions, but do not do anything that would cause harm to people. I do not support hate in any way, shape, or form. Oh, thank you so much, Meg S. Just gifted 5 memberships. That's so kind of you. That means we're at 10. All right, sweet. Team even. You guys are in the lead. I will be, and Manda Panda just has been a member for 23 months. That is awesome. Almost at your tooth. Thank you so much, Manda, for all the support over these past basically 2 years. I so appreciate you. I appreciate all of you so much. Feel free to send in support while I'm talking. I may not get to it until we're between topics or until we're through the main story section, but it is appreciated and I will absolutely respond. So thank you guys so, so much. All right. I also have to say, because we're going to be talking about Sean Combs today, or John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt, that he is innocent until proven guilty of all crimes and allegations, and he maintains his innocence of some of the crimes alleged because he's admitted that it's him in the video with Cassie. I've been through this before, you guys know what I mean, but I do have to say that he has not been convicted at this time, and to be fair, and yeah, although I feel like with the Cassie video, he should be in prison for that, but that's just my opinion. First story is Justin Timberlake. This is a fun one that kind of just popped up for me as I was doing my rounds, that apparently Justin Timberlake is on the wagon after DUI arrest to get out of the doghouse with wife, but he's hating every second of it. Okay, let's read the article. I will share my thoughts at the end of this, but this was one that caught my eye. Justin Timberlake swore off of drinking, I'm going to say, as I'm trying to censor my words for the first little bit, in the wake of his humiliating DUI bust, but insiders claim he's hating every second of his sobriety. The pop star made concessions to wife Jessica Biel to keep the peace after his arrest, and is now complaining to friends about how boring life is without it, Radar Online can reveal. Insiders say he is on a strict health regimen and trying to crawl back into his wife Jessica Biel's good books, but he's not a happy camper.
Muffin.
I'm just gonna read it. Okay. Since his arrest, sources claimed the 43-year-old has been in hot water with Biel, 42, who is said to be tired of his misbehaving and ordered him to shape up or else, which if that is true, good for you, Jessica. Oh my gosh. Sources added he was busted with a vape pen. A big worry because of the effect it can have on his lungs. So he's now ditched that for good. And he's gone pretty much cold turkey on drinking, except for the occasional glass of wine at dinner or on special occasions. But he's committed to a very clean life, and it has not been easy. Insiders said he's admitted to his friends that it's very boring because there's nothing to take the edge off, especially when he's out on the road. But he's promised his wife to clean up his act, and he's sticking to it, no matter how tough it gets. Timberlake's strict health regimen was implemented after he recognized he had some bad habits, landing him behind bars. Is that what we're calling it now? Is that what we're calling drinking while under the influence? Bad habits?
My bad habits lead to late nights. Sorry.
Like, really? Okay. Sources said part of Justin's mea culpa to Jessica was to admit that he'd gotten into some bad habits and that he needs to dial everything way back. Biel was said to be angry with her husband because Justin could have hurt someone or himself. Insiders added it was a selfish, and stupid thing to have let happen. Now, okay, here's the thing. Genuinely, based on some of the stuff I was seeing when all of this broke and people going back into Justin's history and everything else, it definitely did seem like there was some unhealthy behavior when it came to drinking in Justin's past. And I don't want to judge him because, like, specifically on what his relationship with that is, because I don't think it's really my business or fair. But clearly there is an issue here when you are arrested for a DWI, which is where we are. And I, for one, feel like some of the conduct that Justin has shown and some of his behavior has absolutely been likely very embarrassing to his wife, and I think Jessica Biel deserves better. So I'm happy to hear that he's attempting to put his health first, allegedly, whether it is not vaping or drinking or whatever he wants to call it. And I do genuinely wish him the best in that journey because it can be really difficult to, not use those types of things if you've relied on them, and it's very, very hard, and I genuinely hope he's going to be okay. But to me, there's just the whole like, it's boring now. It just sounds so whiny. It sounds so whiny. Like, it's boring. Dude, you're married to Jessica Biel. She seems like a wonderful woman. She's gorgeous. She's the mother of your kids. Like, no amount of alcohol is more important than that. And I genuinely hope that the two of them can work it out and everything else. But it does just sound so whiny. And the problem is, like, I've seen so much over the past year of Justin Timberlake being whiny. I can just see it in my head of him being like, I'm bored. I just don't care. Producer sister, how are you doing with that?
There are ways to have fun that don't involve alcohol.
You are a living example of that.
Yes.
Yes.
As someone who does not drink.
Yes.
And I feel like if you lose sight of that, if you can't conceive of having a good time without alcohol, you may be a bit too dependent on it.
It is possible to have a good time without it.
Yes.
Entirely possible to have a good time without it. So, yeah, it's... I'm just... You guys get what I mean, though. Some of this language in this article of just being like, he was busted with a vape pen. I'm like, is this high school? It's just crazy. Yeah. Anyway, but I genuinely not trying to shade the guy for trying to, you know, be on a good path and take care of himself. And I'm glad to see that he's doing it. I think ultimately what everybody really wanted when the DWI happened was for him to recognize that this was serious. We don't want to see anybody get hurt. We don't want to see anybody lose their life to something like drinking while under the influence, all those types of things. So if he's taking it seriously and he's moving forward in the right direction, I'm happy to see that. But it's just, again, so whiny. So whiny. And yes, Katie Artist, we can giggle without drinks.
Yes, we can.
We can. We can. Alrighty. Now, Matthew Perry update. This one was a bit interesting. I was not expecting this whatsoever. It's not as flashy as some of the other updates that we've had regarding him, but I think it is important. And I wanted to share this with you guys because part of what has happened through this whole investigation with Matthew Perry is there has been this exposure of the industry within LA of getting medicine from doctors, as well as other sources, and just the industry that tends to the industry that seems to be very active in the area. And the Hollywood Reporter did an investigation into something to do with Matthew's case, and I was floored. Now the Mirror has put a nice summary, which I appreciate because the Hollywood Reporter's article is very long. It's good. It's good. Both this link and the Hollywood Reporter link are in my source document if you want to go check it out and you're interested. But I didn't want to talk about this for as long, so I hope that that's okay. But here is a basic summary. So Matthew Perry's I'm going to say facilitator of substances, Eric Fleming, who I believe at this time has taken a plea deal and has been identified by the police as a party who is involved, managed a rehab clinic. Okay, so that's the first part. So the guy that gave Matthew substances worked and managed a rehab clinic, and during that time, one of their patients didn't make it. Which my brain was done. I can't. So Eric Fleming is one of the 5 people who are facing charges in relation to Matthew Perry's passing, and he managed an establishment where there was another substance-related passing. Here we go. Yep, guys, this is insane. This is insane. It has come out now that 2 entertainment industry figures who are connected to Matthew Perry's K overdose found themselves involved in a fatal OD in Los Angeles area 3 years before the Friends star. The Department of Justice labeled ex-film director and TV producer Eric Fleming as a street distributor in legal documents obtained by the Mirror. He was given that description over his alleged involvement in distributing vials of K to Matthew's assistant, Kenneth, in the days leading up to his passing in October of 2023, which he pleaded guilty. Brooke Mueller, Charlie Sheen's ex-wife, had a long-time relationship with Eric, but sources told TMZ she also did a stint in rehab with Jasmine, the K Queen, who sold Eric the vials he bought. All of that. Just take all of that in. I can't. So those ties caused her to be brought into the investigation by authorities, according to the source. So before Eric was accused in Matthew's case, he was tied to a man named William Cooney. And in January of 2021, fellow residents at the Red Door rehab facility discovered an unresponsive William as he laid on the bathroom floor of the high-end recovery facility in Bel Air, California. At the time, Williams was admitted. Sorry, I think there's a typo there. At the time William was admitted, Eric identified himself as the Red Door's program director, and according to the Hollywood Reporter. Sorry, my eyes are being really fuzzy right now. I apologize. And he was the program director to Amara Durham, according to the Hollywood Reporter. Amara is a substance A consultant that William's family had reached out to work with him. Eventually, Eric gave Amara information about William's condition, according to her. Amara revealed that William checked into the Red Door despite her advising against it. Brooke, who was William's then girlfriend, convinced him to do so. Michael J. Plonsker, an attorney for the rehab facility, noted that Eric was serving as program director when William was a patient, in addition to being a sober living manager. Although Eric worked at the Red Door, Michael noted that Eric was not at the facility on the day of Mr. Cooney's unfortunate passing. So, Michael went on to explain then that the Red Door and its founders bear no responsibility for his passing, adding that the facility runs at the highest levels of client care. Okay. William is survived by his ex-wife, Sarah, and their son Miles. Speaking on William's passing, Sarah said, "When I look back at when things truly began to unravel, it started when he met Brooke Mueller, who also struggled with addiction. Brooke has not responded to these claims." Now, if you guys remember, Brooke was someone who did cooperate with police in the investigation into Matthew's passing. And it has been reported that she handed over electronic devices, and they had conversations with her to try to understand kind of how these webs worked and who her contacts were. So it's just really interesting that this web seems to be getting more and more intertwined. Continuing on, Sarah divulged these were sober companies who would drive them to buy substances. Or sober companions who would drive them to buy substances. Doctors who would prescribe anything, and enablers who would stay silent as long as they were paid. William was vulnerable, as addicts are, and they preyed on him. Yeah. So I thought this was interesting. It's not as flashy as other updates that we've had, but one of the things that I saw a lot of people criticizing the police about when it came to this investigation was that, of course, Matthew Perry's case gets noticed, right? Matthew Perry is going to get the police attention because he's Matthew Perry. But my biggest kind of rebuttal to that was, no, Matthew Perry is now the vehicle to start looking into the webs. He is now basically the door that has opened to exposing all of these people, whether they be, distributors who are also working in rehab facilities, whether it be licensed doctors who are prescribing medications in the names of other people to service these other clients who are getting medications they shouldn't be getting, whether it is, K queens who are like dispersing these massive amounts of substances like K unregulated and unsafely. Like, this is the stuff that has to come down so that people like William and people like Cody, who we've talked about previously, could potentially have their cases considered, looked at more seriously, and maybe we can get some more answers for these families. And hopefully, by taking down these webs, we're going to have less casualties, less victims in the future, and that some of these people are going to smarten up and stop it. So I really do hope that this does continue to expose things because it needs to happen. I think this is one of the best things that we can do in honor of Matthew, who really just wanted to help people. This investigation, in my opinion, will likely save lives. That's how I view it. Producer Sister, do you see what I mean by that? Because I know we've said many times, Producer Sister is a huge Friends fan. The passing of Matthew has been difficult. And I know you've had a lot of feelings about it, especially as you've kind of watched over the years and learned about him and his struggle in his personal life. When you see articles like this, like how does it resonate with you? Where are you at?
I mean, it's really difficult to hear a lot of these things, but unfortunately we can't change what has happened. But as you said, if we can get some good out of this to save other lives, to put a stop to these rings, at least we can get some good out of this situation, that in his final act on earth is going to save lives, which is, he wanted to help people, as you said. So that, in a bit of a twisted way, accomplishes that. It's not the way we wanted, but we can't change what has happened.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, I hesitate to use the term silver lining.
Yeah.
But I think it is trying to find some positive in such a horrifically awful situation.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of how I feel about that. We are going to move into the next portion, which is the Diddy update, which is a bit larger. So before I do that, I do want to say thank you so much to General Scott and to Meg S., who have both gifted additional memberships. Producer Sister.
Yeah.
What does that bring us to?
We're at 12.
We're at 12. Thank you so much. We're at Teen Even. And thank you guys so much, and welcome to the 12 new Space Angels. I so appreciate you all. Okay, so Diddy. We've got some updates. When we talked on Monday, I brought up that there was an accuser who was currently fighting against a motion that Diddy made in court to basically strip her of her anonymity. And she's been saying that she's terrified for her life, she's terrified for her family, all those types of things. And then he also filed a motion to try to get Lil Rod's case thrown out. Now, Lil Rod's case was quite a lawsuit. It was very long. I believe the original filing was like 98 pages or 100 pages or something like that. And then he refiled later. That was like in the 70s. It was long. It was really long. And there were a lot of claims in there that were very disturbing. And Lil Rod has been one of the more prominent civil lawsuits that have come out against Diddy. Like there's a lot of them now. There's a lot of them. And I have heard there is more coming. I've heard there's more coming. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But basically, Lil Rod sat down and did an interview with Rolling Stone. And that came out yesterday. And my goodness, is this one heck of an interview. There's a lot here. So I wanted to share that with you guys. Now, because of the content, I have made the decision to, we're not going to read it off of the webpage, and I'm not going to take screen caps of it and read it because holy trigger word city. So I have it here where I put it in a PDF. So the credit goes to Nancy Dillon for writing it, Rolling Stone. The link to the article is in the description. Please feel free to go and check that out for yourself. And again, YouTube Human Reviewer, I'm trying so hard. So I hope that is okay. And let's go through and read this whole thing and see what Lil Rod had to say. Because I have opinions. I'm sure you guys are going to have opinions. And without further ado, let's go. So, Diddy producer Lil Rod breaks silence on lawsuit and backlash. Quote, "It's killing me. Here I am standing up for justice and what I believe is right for my life," Roddy Jones says, "and I'm being punished. So, music producer Rodney Lil Rod Jones made global headlines in February when he filed a stunningly detailed, that it was, that's definitely a way to put it, $30 million sexual a and many cars and racketeering lawsuit against him. Secretly used substances on him and forced him to solicit and participate in adult contact with adult workers while Jones was working with Combs on the Grammy nominated Love album Off the Grid between September 2022 and 2023. The explosive 73, okay, it's 73 when it got refiled. My apologies. A suit followed after Combs' longtime partner, Cassandra Cassie Ventura, accused him of R and years of actual and psychological A in a complaint filed in November of 2023. 5 more women have since filed lawsuits against Combs, alleging SA as far back as the early 90s. And Combs is also a defendant in an SA lawsuit filed against his son, Christian King Combs, who did that fantastic Yeet Skirt diss track to the FBI that went over super duper well. If that refreshes your memory, Yeet Skirt. I'm sorry. Every time I see him now, that's all I hear in my head is that SNL skit, because I remember like pulling up that diss track and thinking to myself, this is gonna be like that skit, and it was worse. So that's why it's just they're synonymous in my brain now. Combs settled with Ventura within a day and later apologized when a disturbing video obtained by CNN showed him hurting Ventura in a hotel hallway. But the Bad Boy founder denied all the subsequent allegations. His lawyers called Jones a liar seeking an undeserved payday. That's been a popular defense from Diddy. They blasted Jones's claim that Combs was somehow involved in a pew-pew incident at a Los Angeles music studio, saying the police investigation determined the attack happened outside and that charges were filed against robbery suspects unconnected to Combs. Now, Mr. Jones's lawsuit is pure fiction. This is the quote. A shameless attempt to create media hype and extract a quick settlement, Combs' lawyer Erica Wolf said in a statement Monday after filing a new motion to dismiss Jones's amended 98-page complaint. There was no RICO conspiracy, and Mr. Jones was not threatened, G-worded, aid, or many cars. We look forward to proving in a court of law that all of Mr. Jones's claims are made up and must be dismissed. All right. Everything okay?
Yeah.
Sorry, there's just a weird noise going on.
It's all good.
Okay. Sorry about that, guys. I am seeing the green cards in the chat. Thank you very much. I will address them when we're done here. Thank you guys so much. The support is very appreciated and very felt. Despite Combs' denials, Jones, 38, has held firm. As his lawsuit moves forward, he's speaking out in his first interview. He declined to expand on his most sensitive allegations, saying his complaint speaks for itself, but he was willing to discuss working with Combs and what he describes as a damaging fallout from his blockbuster lawsuit. With his lawyer, Tyrone Blackburn, who we've talked about before, there's some controversy surrounding him, but this is his lawyer, and he was on the line. Jones says he's largely been in hiding the last few months while undergoing intensive therapy. He attended 50 Cent's Humor and Harmony Festival in Louisiana in early August and recently worked with T-Pain at a lauded Juneteenth show at the Hollywood Bowl in Los Angeles. But this is his first major interview since the lawsuit, and he says he feels otherwise blackballed in the music industry for stepping forward. All right, so here we go. This is what he's got to say. Before Diddy and the Love album, how did you view your career? Was the question. And he answered, I grew up in the church. My family consists of pastors, singers, musicians, and carpenters. As a kid, 13 years old, I started doing recordings. And before I knew it, it snatched me right out of school. I've worked with some of the greatest artists across different genres. In the gospel industry, the Clark sisters, Mary, Donald Lawrence, Smokey Norfolk. In the jazz world, Brian Culbertson. In the hip-hop world, Jack Harlow and T-Pain. I'm a singer and a rapper who produces and plays multiple instruments. Coming into the situation with Diddy, I put everything else on hold. I saw that doing a Diddy project might be able to give me the finances and the position to come back to my production company with a bit more notoriety. When you work on this type of album, it usually comes with respect. Sorry. How did you start working on the Love album? The first official meeting was in September of 2022. I was at a writing camp. Um, One of my friends was close to his A&R at Love Records and asked me to come work with him. He said he'd give us our own room with musicians coming through to work with us. And when I got there, I was so confused because the parking lot was set up like a club. Puff turned the parking lot into this whole experience. I didn't have my own room and was ready to go home, but I figured at least I'd do some networking. There were free drinks, IV drips, massage therapists, basketball. There were hundreds of people. Does anyone else have that Stefan SNL skit in their head of like, this parking lot has everything? It has free drinks, IV drips, massage therapists, basketball.
You had me other than the IV drips. I'm afraid.
I have questions. I have questions. Many, many questions. All right. At first, I wasn't even noticed. They tried to put me in a corner. I was like, I'm a musician. I got guitars, keyboards, basses in my trunk. With me sticking around, people just started asking me and needing me more. One time specifically, Puff asked, Yo, I need you to find some church musicians to play keys to color up this song. I was sitting right there. And I said, I can play it. I grew up playing in the church. We moved to another room and he pulled me to the side and was like, Yo, maybe you could put a bridge on this song. You do know what a bridge is. I have the feeling Mr. Lil Rod is aware of what a bridge is. I can't. I looked at him like, bro, for him to ask me that, he didn't have the slightest idea of my background. From then on, my services were needed. They gave me the task of training all the engineers and dealing with all the producers. So the next question was, what was it like working with Diddy? His attitude is like 0 to 100 in seconds. I believe that 100%. Anyone else remember that video of him screaming that he was a savage?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Sometimes he's asking for something and he doesn't even know what he's asking for. He'd be like, yo, turn those little trinkles up. And I would look at him like, okay, the trinkles. Let's see. I just constantly keep eye contact. I can see when I'm turning something up if it's right. Or I'm turning up something if it's right. I get that nod. I started to develop his ear too. He liked that. I understand musical theory and professional terms. I had to understand what he's trying to say and translate that. I believe this so much. I believe that Diddy would look at a music producer and go, do you know what a bridge is? Turn the trinkles up. What is a trinkle? Producer sister, What is a trinkle?
I got nothing.
Put in the chat. What do you think a trinkle is? Let me know.
Trinkle?
Well, I want to know. And then he said, that's how we became close. He's not a musician. He's more like an executive. He likes options. I figured, okay, I'm going to add 10 or 20 extra parts on here, and then when he comes in, I'll mute everything and play them one by one. And this will give him a plate to choose from. It was giving him options. It got to the point that out of all those hundreds of people at the writing sessions when he went home to Miami, it was only myself and his A&R executive, DeForest, who flew back with him. All right. So, you okay?
More trinkle.
More trinkle. Trinkle, trinkle, little star. Thank you, Katie. Thank you, Katie.
The more trinkle in my head is the voice of more cowbell.
Oh, more cowbell. You gotta have more trinkle. I'm sorry. There's going to be random, like, cutaways in this because this whole situation is so dark and so terrible, and I look for humor in everything, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know that may be annoying, but I don't care. All right. So your lawsuit alleges patterns of A. When did that allegedly start? One of the first moments that was very uncomfortable was around Thanksgiving. Me and DeForest were the only two flown to Miami. It's Thanksgiving Day. He has a table outside for the employees. He's inside. He waves me in. I'm a little nervous but excited to be brought into the family dinner. I felt privileged to be sitting there. He introduced me and asked me to bless the food. I love it. It's always the church. As soon as you're like, I go to church, they're like, okay, you pray.
Yeah.
I felt privileged to be sitting there. He introduced me and asked me to bless the food. I'm trying to talk with the people sitting next to me, but I notice everyone is saying very little. I realize they're all probably under NDAs. I don't like to sit uncomfortable too long, so I went to the studio. About 10 minutes later, Puff comes rolling in with Young Miami and others following behind. Assistants were lighting candles, giving us cocktails. He went in his bathroom attached to the studio and summoned me into Forest. He asked me if I had $100 bill. There were these 3 white lines on the sink. He was asking me to do something I've never done before. It was awkward. He was trying to get me to do some. Yeah. I don't want to judge anybody, but that's at the top of my list of things I'm afraid to do. Then was asked, how do you describe Diddy? He's a monster. He'll do whatever is necessary to get exactly what he wants. He doesn't take no for an answer. He told me himself, I'll smack my mama. Anyone who can say that, even jokingly, is a monster. He's nothing to be played with. For a person whose brand is Love Records and changed their name to Love and named their kid Love, he doesn't show love. It's just marketing. Yeah. Yeah. This is why I call him John Jacob Jinglehiemer Schmidt, because he has a lot of names, but I love is an interesting one. Where are you based these days? Lil Rod says, for safety reasons, I'm not saying. There have been too many people trying to figure out where I'm at. I move locations, move states. Everything is private. My mom doesn't even know where I live. It's been like that pretty much all year. Which kind of reminds me so much of the other individual who has been asking to keep her anonymity because she's afraid for herself and her family. This is why I don't think that anonymity is, you know, taking the easy way out or anything like that. This is a very scary situation. I completely understand why these people who have come forward are scared. It's a lot, and you don't do this. You don't move like this and hide stuff from your mom like this unless you have good reason to be terrified. So, how has your battle with Diddy affected your career and your personal life? He said it's been very, very tough. Because of this lawsuit, most people don't want to come near working with me for whatever reasons. Whether they've been in a partnership with Puff or they just want to sit back and see what happens. He's a gatekeeper in the music industry. In this industry, to be successful, you have to have worked with someone like him, or Jay-Z, Dr. Dre, Kanye, or 50 Cent. So many people I've worked with have had business deals with him. I reached out to try to get a deal for my album, and people don't want to get involved. The crazy part is when you sign most artists, you have to get into the studio and pay producers. My album is finished. It's mixed and mastered. I just need someone to come in and help with the marketing and release. I did the hard part. But people are too scared, whatever their reasons are, to touch this. I've been told the best way to do it is independent, but I have no engine. Meanwhile, I just can't go back to working with artists as a musician because I have to take security around me when I'm performing, and most musicians don't get paid enough to take security. Why do you need security? Rolling Stone asks. You're afraid of Diddy? And he responded, this part, oh gosh. Whew. Yes, I got threats. I've never had so much hitting me at once. Diddy has a lot of people on his payroll in different positions. He's very connected. It made me nervous traveling, going to hotels. I ask if there's a way that I can remove my name. The last time I landed in LA, I knew he had connections there. I got off the plane worried. I masked my face and changed my outfits, trying to disguise myself. For sure I was uncomfortable, paranoid, afraid. But I told myself, you can't keep living like this. I've got 3 therapists. In his lawsuit, Jones alleged Combs threatened him with physical harm. Everyone saw the video of Cassie. This is who I am dealing with. It's terrifying. So no more touring with other musicians? I did a gig at the Hollywood Bowl with T-Pain in June with a full orchestra. I was the band director, scored the orchestra parts, played the keys and bass guitar. I've been working with T-Pain the last couple of years. I helped produce his last album. But doing that show, I had a couple mental breakdowns. I almost felt like it was too soon for me to try to come back outside to work. My anxiety was out the roof. I saw different guys backstage I didn't know when I got scared. I was wondered where security was. It made me uncomfortable. It's not a good feeling wondering if someone was there to attack me. It's just hard for me to do my job comfortably. It's definitely been challenging for sure. Last year I was touring arenas around the US. This year I've done a total of 3 gigs. It's hard. This got me to a place where I don't know what's next. I feel like there's more music and creativity in me, but I feel like maybe my career is over. Maybe. The music business feels so corrupted. I've been writing. I have a couple albums, but the truth is, I'm nervous. Is it an overstatement to say that you feel blackballed? And he responded, it's not an overstatement. It's correct. It feels like there are so many people quietly rooting for Combs. Or maybe they're rooting for me and just scared to say anything. Here I am standing up for justice and what I believe is right for my life, and I'm being punished for that. I'm blackballed for sure. I've had many nights and weeks and months of unaliving thoughts. It's the music that has kept me living all my life. And then he was asked, what do you want people to know about your situation? Why speak now? And Lil Rod said, for some reason, our culture worships Combs and his billionaire status. They don't want to see him fall because we're living vicariously through him. They have to understand Puffy is no god. He is nothing more than a shrewd, crooked businessman. He's stolen publishing for years. He's nothing but a thief. He has no soul. He lives off of other people's gifts and talents. It's not a human way to live. My name is all over the Love album credits, so I had to have done some producing. It got a Grammy nomination, and I'm sitting here doing nothing, unable to work. This is not right. There's a part of me that just loves the quote. He has no soul. And the thing is, I would love to be like, that's really mean. But at the same time, I feel like there have been so many times I've seen clips of him now where I'm like looking at him and I'm like, what? You know when things are just void? There's just this kind of void feeling when you look at somebody. I've kind of got that vibe from Diddy. Let me know in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. There's just been times where I'm like, this is weird. There's just like a disconnect. I don't know how to describe it. I really saw it in the apology video. Producer Sister.
Uh-huh.
Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know I just keep asking you, like, do you know what I mean? But, like, it just feels, disconnected is the best word I can think of.
You're looking for the words that are being said to match emotionally what they're portraying.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it just doesn't seem to fit. You don't see the emotion in his face and his eyes.
Yeah.
Those kind of things. Like Lisa Boo just said, eyes are dead.
Yeah.
It's very odd.
And I want to be very clear, this is my opinion.
Yeah.
This is clearly my opinion. I'm no doctor. I'm no nothing. I can't diagnose anything. I can't say anything like that. But I'm reminded of when the Murdoch case, when he was sentenced. And I know he's getting a new case now, I think, and all that's up in the air. But the judge said something to him of the effect of that he just kept looking to see like the humanity in him, and he just didn't. And that was a part of what he was told when he was sentenced. And I really can't help but feel like I see that kind of in Diddy. And that could be a bias, it could be an assumption, but it's uncomfortable. And I'm seeing the comments of you guys being like, yeah, like there's no soul, there's no compassion, he looks possessed. Like I'm not the only person who sees that. There's something about it that's disturbing. Okay, so then there's this kind of bracket thing of Rolling Stone adding context. So in his amended lawsuit, Jones alleges that he had a verbal contract with Combs promising him $20,000 and 4 royalty points per song, as well as credit as a producer, credit for each instrument played, and publishing rights to his work. He alleges the 9 songs on the Love album. He alleges he produced 9 songs on the Love album and hasn't been compensated for his work. When reached for comment, a spokesperson for Combs said no such agreement was reached. Mr. Jones was hired as a session musician and sound engineer for the Love album and was fully compensated for his contribution, the spokesperson said. A rep further pointed Rolling Stone to a prior statement from Combs regarding his decision in the last few years to return publishing rights to his bad boy artists and writers. No other company has taken steps that I have taken to give publishing rights back to artists. This is about fairness, integrity, and acknowledging the contributions these artists made to the culture, Combs said in a statement shared with Rolling Stone. Now, I'm going to hit back at that right away, because if you've heard what Aubrey O'Day has said about that, the publishing rights came with a catch. There were some things they had to sign about not saying anything about a certain Diddy, from my memory. So I would hardly say that this is about fairness or integrity. That's just my opinion. It's ridiculous. Okay, then they asked Lil Rod, what is your financial position right now? He said, I'm broke. I have no source of income right now. Every month I'm trying to figure out how the bills are going to get paid. I've had my phone turned off for like 24 hours, and a lot of people just sit back and watch. But T-Pain is a real friend. His team worked to make sure that it was safe for me to work at the Hollywood Bowl show. That felt good. But there should be more artists like T-Pain having my back. So the Hollywood Bowl show was good for you, despite your anxiety? He said, yes. It reminded me who I was and what's kept me breathing all these years. It was like second nature. I haven't been doing live music for months, and I jumped back on stage like I never left. I was outside of the fear. But you have to have the extra patience with other performers. I didn't have the attitude I like to have when I'm working with other people. I was worried that if someone made a mistake, I would be on them. The reality was I just wanted my first show back to be perfect. I rehearsed everybody 12 hours a day. Afterwards, my mind fell back into a trauma state. I didn't want to walk to the bathroom without somebody being with me. So, then he's asked, what are you hoping for moving forward? I'm hoping once I drop my album that people support it. I hope that people get back to the reality of my music and talent. Anybody who knows me knows that it's real, raw talent. Puffy is an executive producer who has money. It takes him months sometimes just to cut 8 bars. I could pick up a bass right now and play it. I could pick up a keyboard right now and play it. I play 13 instruments and I can sing, rap, and produce. And I am sitting around and I can't get a deal. I just hope this all turns around for me so I can go back to doing the music I love. It's killing me, and it's taking me out not doing it. And that is his interview. It's tough. It's a tough one. I understand there has been some criticism his way as far as really focusing on the money, really focusing on the work and everything else, but at the same time, it's pretty clear, I think, that music is a massive part of Lil Rod's life. And it must be difficult going from a place where you're working all the time and doing it and doing something you love and then not being able to do it at all. And because somebody did something to you, um, allegedly. So, I mean, I have my criticisms of the lawsuit. I've never been shy about that. But that doesn't mean that what he's saying isn't true. Um, and the other thing I will say is I've gone through Diddy's motion. There's a lot of them saying, well, this isn't true, this is false, this is false, this is false, but I'm not really seeing anything to prove that at all. And again, like when we talked about it on Monday, and I said part of the big thing about the motion is they're saying, there's no RICO, there's no RICO, there's no RICO, so this is ridiculous. But it's like, how can you say there's nothing when Sean Combs is currently under investigation for crimes related to RICO, allegedly? It's been reported. I think the whole thing is very interesting. We're going to see how things play out here. But I think we may be moving into a new stage to do with the civil lawsuits where we're going to be seeing Diddy fighting back a bit more. And at least for me to change my opinion on things and speculation, I'm going to need to see some receipts here. Because the whole time it's been Diddy going, oh, this is just about money. This is just people wanting money. Like Cassie just wants money, basically. And then all of these crazy things that we've been like, oh my gosh, that's horrific. How is that even true with Cassie? And then we hear, oh yeah, Kid Cudi confirms, yeah, my car got blown up. Oh yeah, that incident in the hotel, we now have a video of it. Oh, these things that Cassie said happened in the lawsuit, we have witnesses who are confirming that yes, it did. So this is what I mean. We've got to get some, if Diddy wants to save himself, we got to get some receipts as far as that things aren't true, because at this point I'm not seeing them. And when everything that I have seen is just confirming what people are alleging, it doesn't look good. That's just my opinion. And with that, we are in halftime. Producer sister, any thoughts on any of the stories you want to share with everybody?
I did look it up.
Mm-hmm.
A trinkle is basically slang for like to tinkle the ivories, so play the piano.
Okay. Gotta have more Trinkle.
More Trinkle.
Oh, now I'm just gonna have the cowbell thing stuck in my head all day. Why?
You're welcome.
Why? All right. Well, we're in our halftime now. This is where I kind of just chill with my lovely, lovely community for a few minutes before we go into our What the What. I have a few things I need to go through here. Meg S gifted another membership, and then Did Someone Say Shenanigans gifted another membership. Then Meg gifted another 5 memberships. My goodness, you guys, thank you so much, Meg S. Thank you, Did Someone Say Shenanigans. That is so generous of you. Then Sam Bake 27 has been a member for 8 months, thanks to this generous Space Angel community. Thank you for your support as always. It is so appreciated. Kat the Empath, formerly known as Nosser2, has been a member for 5 months, saying, "Pretty please hit that like." Thank you very much. Pretty please hit it. Brandon, thank you for the super chat. You don't have to do that, my friend. Said, if you have heard Hail Mary by Tupac, the high notes can be considered trinkles. So I get it. It's the black keys on the piano. Okay. But you saw the white keys, though. Producer sister, right? That you had said that was the white keys? Or
no, just the saying to tickle the ivories.
Oh, okay. All right. There we go.
Which is play the piano.
We're learning. We're learning. Oh, Terry just said, love your channel. You missed the 1th last month. Oh, did I miss when you had your 1th? I'm so sorry, Terry. Congratulations on your 1th. Thank you so much for the support. You're so, so appreciated. We really, really do appreciate you. I'm glad that you are enjoying the channel and the content. Thank you very much. General Scott sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you. Did it bother anyone that the guy from the Operation game was either clearly awake or unalive? Should it have been called Mortician instead?
Oh, dear.
What? Kaya!
That was Scott, not Kyle.
Scott! It was Scott. Scott, what?
I mean, he has a point.
It is. He does. Now I'm going to be thinking about that. My brain is like... Do you know that meme where there's that lady with all, like, the math around her head? Like, and she's just like... That's me right now. That is me right now.
That's me on a normal day.
Oh, I know. I do want to apologize, you guys. My brain is just, like... on overdrive right now. I know we talked about this a little bit on Monday that like allergies right now are bad. My brain feels too big for my head and I have not been feeling well today at all. So like when I couldn't read there, it's because my eyes got all glossy and glassy because tears and everything because allergies is just it sucks. So I'm so sorry if I'm reading things wrong or my brain is scrambling things. Please do not take it personally and I do apologize. General Scott, his eyes are open! I mean, they are. Hang on. Why don't we pull up a picture of them and take a look? Let me do this. Operation game. Okay. I gotta open this up here. And then really zoom in, because I don't want to get in trouble for nudity. You're laughing, but I mean, it happens.
I know.
It happens, YouTube, and I'm trying. There you go. Okay, so... There we are. Okay, so awake or dead? I don't know.
Clearly awake.
You think he's awake?
Look at his eyes. His eyes are open and looking down.
I mean, I don't know. This is... Oh, this is bizarre. That's bizarre and uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable. Thank you, Scott. This is going to be on my mind now for a long time. Thank you, Katie. Trauma. Trauma. Big time. Big time. Before we get into our What the What, I did want to ask you guys. So last week we did a Friday stream where we just looked at something that interested producer sister and I to do with like Disney stuff, and we kind of talked about maybe doing like a 3rd stream on a fairly regular basis of just something random, maybe not as structured, all those types of things. Curious about what you guys thought of that, if you'd be interested in more of them. We had talked about potentially doing one on Friday, but we are kind of unsure because it is a holiday weekend. So I don't even know at this point if we're going to do a stream on Monday, because whenever there's holidays like this, like the viewership is so down because everybody is doing stuff, right? Like live your life, right? And that's what we should be doing. But I'm just curious, if we were to do a stream, I would say from Friday to like over the weekend, What times work for you guys best? Would you be interested? Are you crazy busy? All those types of things. So we want to make sure that we're not overloading with content or any of those types of things. And I hope that makes sense. Producer Sister, do you have any thoughts you want to add?
And just, are you okay with it not being super structured?
Mm-hmm.
And more of just a conversation without, like, full slideshows directing us, all that kind of stuff.
Because I have trouble not doing that.
Yeah, this is something that we're trying to help her with.
I'm bad at it. I over prepare. It's an anxiety response. It is a trauma response of if I prepare for everything, nothing can go wrong. Something can absolutely go wrong no matter what. But I'm just saying it's, yeah, it's a lot. Okay, so seeing a lot of positive. Thank you guys. People are saying I'm game for Friday. Freeform is good. Okay, thank you, Lisa. Boo for that. And yes, Stephanie looks like she's good. Vicky's good. I love Nicole saying it was rolling on the floor funny. I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm glad someone likes my laughing. That's good. Meg just said I'm good with anything. Just let me know what time and I'll be here. Marcia said I'm only busy Saturday. Okay. Game. Stephanie just said I'm game for whatever. Okay. So I think. Yeah. Okay. I think that would be then. We probably could.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then I'm going to ask this question. Do you guys have any requests for something that we could talk about?
Yeah.
Because I would love to hear, because I know there's a lot of people that do like random streams where they just go like Q&A and then they get there and people don't really have questions or anything. But is there anything that you would like to hear our opinions on? You'd like us to dig into anything like that? Because I would love to hear your thoughts on that. Because we do want to create content that you guys are going to enjoy, that you guys are going to be interested in. And as you all have seen over the years with me, I can be quite random.
Yeah.
Like I have nothing to do and I'm going to show up with one time there was this princess. She'd be real hot. She'd be real lonely. Like, and things get weird with like the frog princess and all of that. So, just curious what you guys think.
Because like, there were a number of topics from last Friday in regards to like D23 and the updates for the parks that we didn't get to.
But I also didn't want to assume that everybody was interested in hearing every little detail of that.
Exactly. Like,
right? Like, I understand. The thing is, like, with the Muppets thing that I went over, even if you're not super into the Muppets, once you find out, like, what the heck happened there, I think most people can go, like, that's messed up.
Yeah.
That's messed up. And as soon as you start kind of going, like, yeah, one of Jim's best friends thought that Disney killed him. All of a sudden people go, I'm sorry. And those are the types of things, right? So, like, if it's really random like that, I feel a lot more comfortable talking about it because I know that there's meat. I know that there's something to it. So, for example, if that makes sense. Terry, what about updates on Johnny Depp? I mean, I think he's just living his best life right now. I know he just directed another movie. And that's coming out soonish. I think it's going to festivals. I know Jenna Ortega made a comment being like, we're not dating. That was weird.
Yeah, that
was really weird. But that's about it. Oh gosh, Meg asks, I'm good with random. Pull out history facts, Canada facts, doesn't matter. Feel free to go wild on that. I have considered doing one for the PSAs.
Okay.
Canadian PSAs. Because some of them when we were growing up was unhinged. Yeah. Is it the play safe one?
Yeah.
I can put my arm back on. You can't. So play safe. Like, legit, like, these are the things... There were things we saw as children on our public television that I have questions about still in my adulthood. So that could be fun. I've debated on doing, like, a Halloween horror stream of watching Telefrancais. 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 Because that's a whole thing. That's a whole thing.
Nicole, I don't know how we would do a whole stream on the arrogant worms.
Oh gosh, no, I get copyrighted to death. No, I wish we could.
But I'm here for it.
I wish we could.
We could do an interpretive reading of the War of 1812.
Yeah.
If you haven't heard that song,
It's a good song.
it's a good song.
It's a good song.
I may or may not have screamed that song at the top of my lungs on Space Mountain at 3 a.m.
I went on Space Mountain 17 times. It's a quick little viral video. It's beautiful. It's a guy that literally went on Space Mountain 17 times, and there's pictures of him singing the song in. Because you know how like when you go on roller coasters, sometimes they take your picture like in a drop, so you look like really messed up. So he sang that whole clip while he was doing that, and oh my gosh, it's so funny. I remember I showed that to Andy one day, and I'm like, this is one of my favorite things. He's like, I know that guy.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, what? You know the Space Mountain guy? I got too excited. It was a whole thing. Yeah, Lisa just said, I know, right? Our Canadian PSAs were funny. I mean, they're on another level. They are on another level. It's a lot. Oh, the UK one, Billy Cat said the UK ones in the 70s were nightmare inducing, especially the overhead powerless ones. I'm sorry?
The what now?
Maybe we need to do a deep dive on all these PSAs. That sounds like a stream. That would be interesting. ItsKim, General Scott just asked, compare Canadian and US culture / pop culture, random bits of knowledge, discuss how most of us are probably using kitchen utensils wrong, like can openers.
How to package milk.
Oh gosh, it's the great debate of the milk. You know what? Okay, let's gauge this. How many of you guys are aware of how Canadians
Not
have
all
milk?
Canadians.
Not all, but some. Because it's in my search history, because I think I've had to explain this to people. Okay, so in Canada, in some places in Canada, we do have the option of having, our milk in different, lack of a term, mediums. I know this is totally off topic. Like, I can't believe you guys are still here. Okay, so like you see here, like we have it like we have some bottles. We have some cartons. We've got the cardboard cartons. Like, that's all pretty normal. We got them in different sizes. But then we also have these.
If you want to buy a gallon of milk,
we have them in bags. We have them in bags. And what do I mean by bags? I mean, oh, I love this. There's somebody that made like a graphic of how to cut them. Oh gosh. Okay. No. I'm trying to open up the new tab. Ah! Stop. Okay. So over here. So what you got here is the milk bag that is in a milk container, and you can stack the other milk bags in your fridge or just have them hanging out, and then people cut each end or one end or whatever, and that's how we do our milk. And there's a lot of people that are very confused about this and why we do this. I don't know, but I don't know anything different. But it's always really funny when I talk about this and I explain it, like especially to Americans. There's so many that are just like, "What is that?" Like they fully go like Cardi B and they don't get it. So I'm curious to see what you guys think. What do we think of the milk bags? Like that's just an example of like random Canadian culture weirdness, things that we do that are different that people don't understand. So, yeah. Producer sister, am I missing anything on that, or does that explain that?
short of actually showing it.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, no, you don't spill.
Sorry,
as long as you
dropped
don't
one of my earbud thingies.
You don't spill it. Unless you cut the hole like ridiculously large.
Yeah.
I actually find it easier for storage because you can stack or put the bags of milk in a drawer. So you don't have this big ginormous gallon container of milk on the shelf that takes up a huge amount of space. That's one thing I notice when we're in the States.
Mm-hmm.
That it's really big.
Yeah. So Katie Hart just said, how do you not spill?
You don't.
We just don't. And yes, it is real milk. Melier, it is real milk. It's a good time. It's a good time. Yeah, Stephanie just said we need to stream on Canadian culture that we need to know about that is different. Okay, all right, we can keep that. So I think we got the PSA idea, we got the Canadian culture idea. We can work on some of that stuff. We can work on some of that stuff. I'm interested. I think that could be fun.
Demonstrations of chemistry.
Demonstrations of chemistry. You know what? I'll make my coffee for you all. I'll show you guys my espresso. I have recently discovered instant espresso. I've never had something that makes me so happy almost instantaneously. Like it makes everything better. It really does. So I mix the espresso with milk, and then I add in like one of like my flavorings or whatever to it, and I make it strong.
Yes.
I didn't think I made it that strong. And then I've been educated by both my sister and my husband that it's too much.
Whew.
Apparently I do too much. But I just think I think because like when you have ADHD, right? Like caffeine works differently in your brain, and I find it kind of actually like slows me down a bit, which helps me think better and calms me down. So it's just instantly like, ah, this is nice. But I think for other people, maybe it doesn't feel that way. For other people, it's just too bitter. But I also like dark chocolate, and I don't taste bitter the same way. I don't know. But yeah, literally Dreadnought. Kim's rocket fuel. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Producer sister, when were you ever surprised with my coffee when I gave that to you? I don't know how to describe it because I know that I've made you one and you were like,
oh no, I was not surprised.
okay. Panda, same. Hence the Red Bull addiction, right? Right? Like there's a reason that I identify so strongly with the song Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter because that made me so happy. Oh, that reminds me, I need to pull something up. Let me see here quickly. Oh gosh, thank you, Carbonized. She just sent in a super chat saying, cleaning my car, but I had to say, Kim, be careful with the PSAs. You could get sick real quick. Ick. Real sick real quick. Yeah, that is a thing. That is a thing. I'll show that after. I can't remember. Sorry, I was going to pull something up, but I think it's going to be too much for me to do, so I'm not going to worry about it.
We can do it on Friday.
There was a Sabrina Carpenter's team made a post, and there was a word, and they added a th to the end of it. Like how we do 1, 2, thirth. You know? All that stuff, and I was like, oh, that's exciting. That's
catching on.
Yeah. Nicole just said I used to drink 3 pots of coffee to myself before changing to espresso.
Whoa.
Just do it right. Do it right. And that's the thing. My husband started adding my espresso to his coffee, and I'm like, just do the espresso. And I know that probably like the flavor breakdown is different and all those types of things, but I'm just saying like, it kind of starts to feel like the whole like pimp my ride thing of just being like, yo dog, I heard you like coffee, so I put coffee in your coffee so you can have our coffee while you coffee type thing. Put a 1 in the chat if you remember that show, because I used to laugh at that way too much. It was ridiculous. Okay, so we do have more What the What. Oh, we need a lazy break. Okay, fair enough. I will see if she's awake. Oh, hi honey, do you want to say hi to everybody? I know, we had an interesting night last night. Her brother, Charlie, who I know some of you love very much. Charlie is an old man, and Charlie has pretty bad arthritis, and his hips get really rough, and he was hurting last night. So we've got some good stuff for him. He's going to be doing better very, very soon. But he was very restless, which meant that he wasn't chilling, so Lacey wasn't chilling, and she was up for half the night, so I'm not surprised she's really sleepy. Come here, honey. Brother keeping you up late, and it wasn't even fun. Just taking away your beauty sleep, right? Just taking away your sleep all the time. Yeah. You can say hi to everybody. Everybody say hi, Lacey. Do you have anything you want to say to everybody, or are we just a quiet day today? That's okay. You don't have to say anything. I think everyone is still happy to see you, regardless of whether you talk or not. Thank you. Thank you for the burp. do that. Oh, I love you, Bear. All right, Lacey. Good girl. You can get some more sleep. It's okay. Are we good? Okay. Yeah, Nicole, she was worried about him. She genuinely was.
He's doing better this morning.
He's doing a lot better this morning. But it is just, it happens every couple months. It just gets pretty rough. So, rough. The pun.
Boo.
But it's literally like, I call my vet and I just go like, hey, his arthritis is bad again. They're like, okay, come get the meds. Because they just know it is what it is. And it's fine. I think it happens. It's natural. It's natural. I hate it because it means that he's getting older, but you know, it is what it is. It is what it is, and I just want him to be happy. Okay. So, what the what? We are revisiting what we did on Monday. Put a 1 in the chat if you were here on Monday and enjoyed the first part of this. Producer sister.
Yeah.
For those of the lovely people here, the lovely space angels here who did not see Monday, can you please help me explain what the heck this is?
So a bulletin is, within the church community, is something that is generally given out every Sunday at a church service.
It's like a document.
It's a document, it's sheet of paper, and it has all of the goings-on of the church, of all the different events and things you should know. It's lots of advertising for upcoming things for you to take part in.
You also sometimes get bulletins when you go to a funeral.
Yes.
That have like a little bio of the person, the order of events of what you're about to have. If there's hymns going to be sung, you would have the lyrics of the hymns in the little bulletin, all that type of stuff.
Unfortunately, not everyone proofreads these to the extent that they should be proofed.
For example, we had an instance when my mom worked in the church where someone made up a birthday party invitation for Jesus's birthday at Christmas. So they were having a birthday party for Jesus for children. So this was going home with children from Sunday school, where they wanted to inform everyone that Jesus was born, but they did not use the word born.
Nope.
They used a word that started with P
And
ended in orn, which was not the that was not what they were trying to say.
or the type of party they wanted to have.
No, it was kind of gave the wrong impression. So these are the types of things that do happen, and this is like a list that producer sister found of a whole bunch of typos of bulletins. So we went through the first 45. And I'm just gonna go here quickly. So these were like the first 5. I'm trying to see which other ones were really good. Yeah, like this being Easter Sunday, we will ask Miss Lewis to come forward and lay an egg on the altar. Maybe not the way they wanted to phrase that. The pastor would appreciate it if the ladies of the congregation would lend him their electric girdles for the pancake breakfast next Sunday morning. Just going through here. Yeah, the Reverend Merriweather spoke briefly, much to the delight of the audience. I know some of you guys had some favorite ones. Yes, Kat, Jesus did not have OnlyFans. He did not. I can definitely state that at that time he did not. Yeah. Remember in prayer the many who are sick of our church and community. That was a good one. So I'm gonna go to. Why can't you select slides anymore? Like, hang on a second. Let me get back to where we're starting fresh. But just so you guys understand what we're doing, that's what we're doing. That is what we're doing, and it's gonna be a good time. All right. We're starting on 46. Also, before we get into what specifically, producer sister, where are we at on gifted memberships?
19.
19? Okay, so thank you. Team Odd, you are winning, and thank you guys so much, and welcome to the new 19 Space Angels. Thank you guys so much. Here we go. Let's do this. All right. The Lutheran men's group will meet at 6 p.m. Steak, mashed potatoes, green bean, bread, and dessert will all be served for a nominal fee.
Nominal.
A nominal fee?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Normally it would be a nominal fee, like a minimal cost.
Oh. But it feels that way. It's just going to feel that way.
No. Instead of giving money, you're...
Oh, you have to give your feels?
No, they're going to feel.
Oh, okay.
Someone is going to feel you.
Oh!
There we go.
I'm thinking feelings.
No.
Not physical. Oh, gosh, it's like pruy.
Pruy.
Oh, we're getting physical up in here. We're getting physical with the steak and the mashed potatoes. This is awkward. Okay. Okay, thank you. Sometimes. I feel so delayed today. I'm so sorry. The ladies' Bible study will be held Thursday morning at 10. All ladies are invited to lunch in the fellowship hall after the BS is done. Yeah. I mean, maybe that lunch is gonna have steak, mashed potatoes, green beans, bread, dessert, lots of feeling, right? It's a good time. Low self-esteem support group. Okay, that one was repeated. It's okay.
Oh, I missed that one.
No, it's okay. It's fine.
Sorry.
It's all right.
There was a lot of repeats in it. I think I took out about 10.
Yeah, I think the next one is too. Hang on. Okay, so 50. The associate minister unveiled the church's new tithing campaign slogan last Sunday. Oh no. I upped my pledge. Up yours. Just the fact that it's pledge in the first place, I'm not okay. I will never be able to look at that word the same way again. That word is gonna haunt me for the rest of my life. But yeah, up yours. Up yours. Oh gosh, okay. I just ran ahead. No. Our next song is Angels We Have Heard Get High.
This was my favorite.
For those of you who are not aware, it should be Angels We Have Heard on High. It is a Christmas hymn. It is not Angels We Have Heard Get High. Angels we have heard get high. This needs to be a whole parody. It's a little bit... That's a little bit off color, but I'm not mad about it. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. I hope angels laugh at that too. That's great. Okay, the church is glad to have with us today our guest minister, the Reverend Shirley Green, who has Mrs. Green with him. After the service, we request all remain in the sanctuary for the hanging of the Greens. We're hanging people now?
Apparently.
What is happening? And the problem is, too, now I'm thinking, like, the get high part. I'm going, like, is this a different kind of green? What's happening now? I have questions. Oh, gosh. Thank you, General Scott. Jesus passed the blunt. Stop. Oh. I keep looking up at the angels we have heard get high, and I can't stop. Okay.
It's so good.
A new loudspeaker system has been installed in the church. It was given by one of our members in honor of his wife. You know, it was like some like old man that was like, I want to give something to the church in her memory or something if she died, and then oh gosh. Oh. Whew. Okay. The choir will meet at the Larson House for fun and sinning. Probably is supposed to be singing, but sinning. We will be singing Angels We Have Heard Get High. Miss Charlene Mason sang, I will not pass this way again, giving obvious pleasure to the congregation. the chat, I would be more willing to go to church if the angels were high. Stop. Oh gosh. Okay. But yes, Charlene will not pass this way again, and there was much rejoicing. Okay. Ladies, don't forget the rummage sale. It is a good chance to get rid of those things not worth keeping around the house. Bring your husband. I'm telling you, some of this is shade. Some of this is so shady. Look, we talked about this in the last show, that it's like some of these things, I think, like, they could be typos, like they could be like, that's unfortunate, but some of them are also just no. Some people just wanted to be shady. This is shady. All right, next Sunday is the family hayride and bonfire at the Fowlers. Bring your own hot dogs, and I'm sorry?
So the word should be buns, like hot dogs and buns.
Oh, so it rhymes with buns, but it starts with a G.
Yes.
So bring your own hot dogs and pew-pews.
Yes.
Friends are welcome. Everyone come for a fun time. Oh, gosh. The Fowlers sound like fun.
Yeah. I believe that one is a typo, as like the G and the B are close to each other on the keyboard.
I could see that being the case, but that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
We had a family that had a property in our church that we did bonfires at.
Mm-hmm.
Things happened at that place. It was a lot.
Yes, they did.
Wise up, O men of God. Smile at someone who is hard to love. Say HE double hockey stick to someone who doesn't care much about you. I'm guessing that's supposed to say hello.
Yes.
To someone who doesn't care much about you. Oh gosh. Oh gosh, General Scott just said it with the last one. This is probably in Texas. G word would be correct. It's possible.
Mm-hmm.
It's possible. Oh, Stephanie just said, yeah, that's so Texas. I mean, I'm going to take your guys' word for it. Oh, gosh. Okay. The peacemaking meeting scheduled for today has been canceled due to a conflict. Stop. How do you not write that sentence to see the problem with that?
That's a great question.
Oh, reading comprehension. Oh, my gosh. Oh, Dina just said, this is so great. The church typos, love it. I'm glad. I think it's an underrated, like, thing that's really funny.
Yep.
It's, there's a lot of underrated church humor that people don't know about. And it's great.
I think you don't have to go to church or have a background in church to see the humor in most of these.
Bring your own hot dogs and pew-pews. So, like,
yeah.
Come on. Oh, gosh. The sermon this morning. Jesus walks on water. Gosh, stop. The sermon tonight. Searching for Jesus. We lost him. We can't find him. We can't find him. Is he in the water? Oh, gosh. Oh.
He disappeared.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Poor Jesus. Thank you, Katie. Okay, next Thursday there will be tryouts for the choir. They need all the help they can get.
That's shade.
The shade of it all, for real. Call the trees. Like, wow. Wow. Oh. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's not that great. All right. The agenda was adopted. The minutes were approved. The financial secretary gave a grief report. I'm guessing it's supposed to be brief.
Yep.
But it's not. It's probably, it probably is kind of depressing. Okay. Barbara C. remains in the hospital. I'm sorry, Barbara, and needs blood donors for more transfusions. She's also having trouble sleeping and requests tapes of Pastor Jack's sermon. That's shade. That is shade. That is shade. Pastor Jack, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're doing. But apparently your sermons are boring. We may need to work on that. Oh, Carrie just said I'm at Walmart crying, laughing. People think I'm nuts. I'm so sorry, Carrie. Oh, gosh. Oh, Carrie. Oh, sorry. I'm just imagining it in my head. There was a situation, I think like a year or so ago, where I was laughing about an interview with Harry Styles, where he was talking about the movie Don't Worry, Darling. And I don't know if you guys remember when that all came out. It was like with Olivia Wilde. There was a whole controversy surrounding it where Olivia Wilde and her partner, Jason, they broke up and apparently had something to do with Harry Styles. And there was a conflict over a salad that they had. And it just took over the media. It was nonstop. And it would not go away. But there was this interview of Harry talking about the movie where he just was going on about like, it's like a movie. It's like the reason that you like go to the movies. It's like a movie. Go to the theater or watch it and it's a movie. And he just went on and on and on and on. And like Chris Pine is sitting in the background like, I hate this. The whole interview was just so funny. And I was joking about it on stream, just being like, he sounds like what I sound like after I've taken my meds. Where I'm like, it's like a pizza. But it's like a good pizza. You know, it's like this is why you eat pizza, because it tastes like this pizza. And I'm like, literally, this is the same thing, except he's promoting a movie with Olivia Wilde and apparently broke up a relationship based on salad dressing. I don't even know how to describe it. And there was somebody that left a comment on one of my streams saying that they had been driving and I think they had stopped at a stoplight, and then they heard me say like the whole, it's like a pizza. And apparently they were laughing so hard, and it was going out their car window, and people were just staring at him while he was just laughing at me, going on like I was stoned talking about pizza. And now I'm having this moment in my head where I'm like, is this like what's happening with Carrie right now, that we're talking about bulletins? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I know that was long-winded, but it was funny. It was really funny. It was like my favorite comment I've ever read in my life. I was crying. Oh, maybe not now. I have a new favorite one now. Oh, the shade. Okay, let's keep going. All right, next one. A song listed in the church bulletin at the Nazarene Church in Little Rock, Arkansas, in connection with the sermon on God's mantle. Let's God mangle fall on me? What? Did I read that right?
So it was supposed to be mantle.
Oh, but they said mangle.
Yes.
Let God mangle fall on me. Oh, that's a...
Probably not what you want.
No. Okay. Missionary from Africa speaking at Calvary Memorial Church in Racine. Name, Bertha Belch. No. You know what's coming. This is shade. This is 100% shade. I don't care what I'm about to read. This was intentional. This was completely intentional. Announcement. Come tonight to hear Bertha Belch all the way from Africa. Jumbo. Is it fashion, though? Is it fashion? We have to. We're doing it. It's fashion.
It's fashion meets... It's fashion.
It's fashion. It's fashion. Burp. The shade, though, for real. That is shade. Oh, gosh. Oh, Sarah. Oh, gosh. She just said with the last one about God, let's God mangle fall on me. Just said, like, his mangled body. Like, getting dark. This is getting dark. Okay. Announcement in church bulletin for National Prayer and Fasting Conference. The cost for attending the Fasting and Prayer Conference includes meals. Are you serious?
Apparently.
Are you freaking serious? I mean, I guess it depends on the kind of fasting you're doing, but, I mean, the way it's written, like, oh, it's so generous. All your meals will be included in the fasting conference. Woohoo. Stop. Okay. This is supposed to be a verse.
Yep.
Of Jesus speaking.
Yep.
He did not say this.
Nope.
To be clear, I am the resurrection and the life. He did say that. Whoever believes in me, even though he diets, yet shall be live. Even though he diets, yet shall be live. Or be live. Whichever. That is not the verse.
No.
That's not the verse. Our youth basketball team is back in action Wednesday at 8 p.m. in the recreation hall. Come out and watch us on a live Christ the King. What?
I'm guessing that's who they're playing.
Stop. No. I agree. I think that Christ the King in this context is supposed to be the team name.
Mm-hmm.
Phrasing. Proofreading is your friend. Reading comprehension important. You also don't need to do that. That did already happen, and he came back, okay?
Yep.
We don't need to repeat the history. We're good. Okay. Oh, that's funny. Okay. Okay. Jean will be leading a weight management series. Oh, stop. Wednesday nights. She's used the program herself and has been growing like crazy. Stop. Shade.
I don't
That's
know
shade.
what they were going
That's
for
shade.
here.
That is shade. That is some lady or some person is jealous that Jean is living her best life
Yep.
and is doing a good job in her weight management. Good for you, Jean. Stay the course. Stay mad, haters. Mm-mm. Okay. Next one. Oh, no. Oh, no. Why did you... Producer sister.
Yes.
I'm gonna throw something at you.
Why?
Today, Christian Youth Fellowship Actuality course at 8 p.m. Please park in the rear parking lot for this activity. Stop! Okay. Oh, there's layers to this one.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay. I have to explain this. I have to try.
Do you?
This is hard. This is gonna... I gotta stop. Okay. Put a 1 in the chat if you are aware of something called purity culture. Let me see the ones if you are aware. And I'm going to explain this to anyone who is not aware of what this is, because this honestly may be something that I talk about in the future of my channel. I'm still healing, so it's not... Thank you, Scott. Ample parking in the rear. Thank you. It's something that has been a really hard thing for me, and this is kind of more of a serious note, and I know it's been very hard for millions of other people. There was a movement, and I would argue it's still going in some capacities, aimed at, I'm going to say children as well as teenagers, because it starts before the teenage years, let me tell you, of trying to get people to save themselves from marriage is how I'm going to word it. But purity culture is about far more than just that. It is about the content that you take in. It is about the things that you look at. It is about your language. It is about the thoughts in your mind. And basically, in my opinion, it creates an expectation that is completely unattainable for a human being, of saying that you can't have any thought in your mind about someone who is not your married partner. And any type of thought about someone in any capacity of being attracted to them in any way. So I'm not like nothing even like explicit or obsessive or anything like that. Even just thinking about someone is sin. The wages of sin is death. In some Christian denominations, this type of sin is classified as basically worse than unaliving someone. It depends on where in faith you are. And the problem with this is that it also teaches men that they have no control over themselves whatsoever. And for women, it teaches you that everything is your fault. Everything is your fault. And it is a culture that is just so incredibly judgmental. I shudder thinking about how judgmental I was at parts of it. It breaks my heart now to look back on it. But it also, I can say with a lot of certainty that it has damaged me over the years. It's damaged a lot of people. And it is used as a weapon, in my opinion, to control people. Producer Sisters, anything you want to add? And you're welcome to share your opinion if you disagree with me.
No, I don't. I don't disagree with you. No, I think that's a good, because that's a whole big rabbit hole we could go down in.
It's really tough for me to get into, because it's just been, I'm sure some of you can imagine. There also, I have heard it from pulpits of people saying that, you know, if something happens to you, that it is likely your fault because of the way that you had presented yourself. And to someone like me that went through unspeakable things as a child, it's very difficult to be able to sit there, just with this idea of thinking that it's acceptable to tell a survivor that they did something to deserve what happened to them, but also knowing that that is what you are saying when there are so many people that have those events happen to them when they are children, and they do not have the ability to consent, period. And that the problem then is put on children, you know, with what they're wearing and things of that nature, as opposed to looking at the predators who are targeting children or targeting young people. And when you merge that with some of the crime associated within churches that we have heard happening at children, it becomes a very, very loaded topic that has a lot of damage. And a lot of the people who were advocates of this when we were younger have since renounced and literally left the faith entirely because of what has happened, and they have so much regret and so much shame and so much guilt, and it's so sad. And it's pretty ugly. It's pretty ugly. So, bringing this back to things being somewhat funny. I'm sorry, this is really heavy in a What the What section. So the Christian Youth Fellowship Actuality course would likely be very heavy in purity culture type topics. There was also a movement, thankfully not one I heard a lot about, that there was a loophole in what was allowed between couples before they got married. This loophole could also be called a rear entrance. Hence why the term, the Christian Youth Fellowship Sexuality Course, please park in the rear parking lot for this activity, takes on a whole nother level of, wow, that's messed up. Did that make sense? Producer sister?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it. But that's why it hits. So there's a lot in that exact statement. There is trauma and there is humor. I hope that makes sense. Oh, thank you, Jackie's like, stop. It is a thing. If you are familiar with the comedy group of Garfunkel and Oates, they have a whole song about that called The Loophole. That's what it is. And yeah, exactly, General Scott. You can park in the back, but not in the front. According to some people. According to some people. Oh, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. And I'm sorry for bringing down the mood there, but that's a thing. And anytime I see purity culture stuff, I'm gonna call it out, because that's just it's done too much. It's done too much damage. It's done too much damage, and I'm tired of people pretending that it's not a really terrible thing, because it is. Exactly, Cindy. Exit, not entrance. Yes, Kat. Yes, Kat. You are correct. You are correct when people can see your chat 100%. Yes. Yes. That's the loophole. Yeah. Okay. Next one. Oh gosh. The honeymooners are now having Bible studies each Tuesday evening at 7:30 p.m. I'm assuming that's supposed to be Bible study?
I would hope so.
That would be Bible study? No, we're throwing up now. Oh my gosh, General Scott, stop. I gotta keep going. Okay. If you're going to be hospitalized for an operation, contact the pastor. Special prayer also for those who are seriously sick by request. That sounds kind of ominous.
It really does.
I get what was trying to be said there, but that could have been worded better.
It could have.
Very much so. Okay. Don't miss this Saturday's exhibit by Christian Martian Arts. Was that supposed to be martial?
I think so.
We're doing Christian karate?
I guess.
What is Christian karate?
What is
Like, what does that even mean? I don't... Producer sister can't see it. I just mean a cross going hi-ya. Like, I don't understand what that means. But I mean, Christian martial arts. Maybe we should call Lewis. What's happening with the aliens? What's happening with the aliens? We gotta deal with this. Okay. We have received word of the sudden passing of Reverend Smith this morning during the worship service. Now let's sing Praise God from whom all blessings flow. Stop! Y'all, the pastor died. Thanks, God. Thanks for the blessing. Thanks.
Woo-hoo.
Glad he's dead. Oh my gosh. That's shade.
It's shade.
That's shade. That's not a typo. That's shade. Someone did not like Reverend Smith, let me tell you. Somebody had a problem with Reverend Smith. I don't know what he did, or she did, or the Reverend did, but people aren't happy. This Sunday morning, following services, we will have our monthly fellowship. Problem is, I can't tell if it's touchy-feely or money. Or both.
It could be either.
I'm gonna go with both. And you come in through the rear entrance. That's what I'm saying. Okay. If you choose to heave during the postlude, please do so quietly. Does this go with the bile study from earlier?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, stop. Oh. That's a typo, though. I believe that's a typo.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, the letters aren't perfect, but, that's bad. That's bad. Okay. There will not be any women worth watching this week? What does that mean?
I don't know.
What is the...
It must be some sort of a group that
Women,
meets...
women worth watching?
I don't know if there's a typo in
What
that
makes
part.
you a woman worth watching? What is this group? Has anyone ever seen a group called Women Worth Watching? I'm just... In a church setting.
Yes.
Okay? Let's be clear. This show is rated PG, okay? I got nothing. I got nothing. Glory of God to all of the peas to his... Glory to God. Glory of God to all and peas to his people on earth. Amen. What peas? Is it like the French peas?
Yes.
Is it the VeggieTales French peas?
Yes, they've taken over.
Keep walking, but you won't knock down our wall. Keep walking. Put a 1 in the chat if you know what that is. But she isn't gonna fall. It's plain to see. But, like, what is it supposed to be saying?
Peace.
Is that peace?
Yeah. Peace to his people on earth.
Peace, peace, peace. I thought it might have been please, but no.
Usually the saying is peace.
Oh, gosh. Applications are now being accepted for 2-year-old nursery worker.
That room's gonna be anarchy.
Absolute chaos. They woke up and chose chaos. That is the definition of pure chaos. No, I think... Obviously, I think they're saying they need nursery volunteers for the room that has the 2-year-olds in it.
Yep.
But again, could have been written differently.
Could
have been written differently. Brother Lamar has gone on to be the Lord.
Yeah,
be the Lord. Oh, Kendrick. Good for Kendrick. Yes.
They forgot the with.
Now from heaven he will tell us to sit down and be humble. Right? Now from heaven he will protect us from predators. Now from heaven he will speak his truth and expose the darkness. Brother Lamar, thank you, sir. Yes, I think it should be gone on to be with the Lord.
Yes.
Is probably the what was meant, but good job, Brother Lamar. Good job. Oh gosh. The pastor will light his candle from the altar candles, okay? The ushers will light their candle from the pastor's candle, and the ushers will turn and light each worshiper in the first pew. You did this on purpose, producers. Stop. Okay. Oh, Brother Lamar. No, okay. When I did, volunteer in church, I ran visuals through services. So if you went in and sang songs, I was the one that put the stuff up on the screen in front of you, and I'd done it for a really long time. I ended up kind of being in more of a leadership position of the team, so I trained people and everything else, and I had some rules that I had to implement that I learned from experience of things that worked and things that did not. And because of the leadership position that I was in, essentially, sometimes it fell on me to do the larger productions. So I would come in, like, for our Christmas Eve services and things like that, and make sure that everything was the way that it should be, because you don't want to have on a night where people from, I guess, what do I say? People that don't normally go to church show
Yeah.
up, and you want to make a good impression, right? There's this one year, for whatever reason, they decided to hand out candles. I thought this was a dumb idea from the very beginning. What could go wrong in a large room with a whole bunch of people,
Hundreds of people.
hundreds of people, all holding candles, the night that Santa Claus is coming? What could go wrong? Thankfully, one of the elders we had was a firefighter. So, or he may not have been an elder at that time, but we had
There
fire
was
people.
multiple firefighters.
We had fire people
within the congregation.
And there was this one person in the audience that would not extinguish their candle. They were instructed to extinguish their candle, verbally as well as on screen. I believe it also was in the bulletin.
Mm-hmm.
The time when you were supposed to, your candle. This individual did not understand this concept. So, myself being the kind of petty person I am, and not always the most delicate with things, I basically had, I had the visuals up, I had the PowerPoint type thing up, and there was a slide that came up that said, please extinguish your candles now. Pretty much everybody blows out their candle except for the odd person. So I edit the slide and I changed it. So there's a change in the animation and some people might look up and go, oh, okay, yeah, because they could be in their own little world and I get that. It's fine. It's Christmas. Everybody's tired and it's been busy. So I changed it to being like, please ensure that your candle has been extinguished. So just a slight change. This one person.
The other thing is for this story is the booth where she was is elevated. So when you're literally looking down over the congregation.
I can
so
see
you can
everybody.
see everyone.
Everybody. So I changed it again to please ensure that all candles in your row have been extinguished. So anybody that was sitting with the dude would see that and go, yo, bro, you gotta blow out your candle. He still would not blow out this candle. And people were like, kind of going, dude, blow out your candle. Blow out your candle. And he was just like, no, I'm looking at it. It's pretty. He was in his own little world, fire in the sanctuary. And I'm going we're going to have to do something. We're going to have to do something. And so the guy I was sitting beside who was doing the sound is like, hey, should we call one of the fire dudes? I'm like, no. Let me go. So the sermon is still going on. The pastor is preaching. It is this beautiful moment of all these Christmas decorations. And I'm changing the text on the slide to be like, gentlemen in third row of first section on the right-hand side, extinguish your candle immediately. Still not extinguishing the candle. Everyone in section 1. I just start listing. I'm giving instruction of all of you. Please extinguish the fire. Please take away said candle or candle will be extinguished for you.
Also gave directions for the firefighters who were standing at the back keeping watch and had fire extinguishers
So it's
at the ready if something happened.
Just imagine these beautiful graphics and then just these lines of text just changing every 15 to 20 seconds or so of just getting increasingly more stupid, blow out your candle. This is not your birthday. Blow out the candle. Make a wish. Let's go. I was getting ready to go down there myself. It was the whole thing. So for me, when I see stuff like the ushers will light their candles from the pastor's candle, the ushers will turn and light each worshiper in the first pew, for real. We did not hand out candles again to the congregation.
No.
And the funny thing was, as I had said from the very beginning, I'm like, this isn't going to go well. You're going to have one idiot that's not going to understand that he's going to blow out his candle. What happened? We had one idiot that didn't understand he'd blow out his candle. I'm just saying. I hate that these people share oxygen with me and they have the right to vote. I can't stand it. Okay, song lyrics. What a friend we have in Jesus. All our sins and briefs to bear. That's not the lyric.
No.
That's not. Isn't it grief?
I believe so.
It's supposed to be griefs to bear. Oh gosh, that's brutal. Sarah B, I'm picturing these muscle-bound dudes holding fire extinguishers like ushers. I mean, pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah.
Pretty much, they were getting ready. Because, like, when you have somebody like that that's that unhinged that just isn't getting it, it's like, okay, this guy's actually holding a weapon now.
Yeah.
And we gave him a weapon. We need to take it. Yeah. All right. Church sign says, Jesus saves. Safeway sign across the street. Safeway saves you more.
Safeway is a grocery store for those.
All hail. Oh, that's good. That's good. I like that. Okay, for the group of ladies called Moms Who Care and Pray for the Children in School. Okay. Okay, so like it's a group of moms that have like a prayer group. Right?
Yep.
Okay. When their meeting was canceled 1 week, there will be no Moms Who Care this week. Is that like the Women Worth Watching?
I think so.
We got Moms Who Care and Women Worth Watching. I can't. Oh my gosh. Katie just said Safeway was ready. Safeway understood the assignment.
Yep.
Safeway knew how to get attention. Okay, is this actually you saying it?
What?
This one I said myself? Or is this
No,
just from the list?
It's
Okay.
just from...
Okay, so this one I said myself during congregational prayer when leading prayer for our unsaved loved ones. Okay, so like she was reading it?
I guess.
I'm guessing? Okay. Father, we just want to pray for our unloved saved ones. Gather round, everyone. We need to pray for Sally. We talked about Sally on Monday.
Yep.
We talked about Sally. This is a circle of trust. This is a circle where we keep things confidential. We just keep it here. This is entirely about our brothers and sisters. And we need to lift each other up. And we need to pray for Sally because she's such a dirty whore. Join hands. Join hands. A little squeeze before we let go. Okay. Please welcome Pastor Dawn, a caring individual who loves hurting people. A caring individual who loves hurting people. Hi, Pastor Dawn. Hi. Hi. Stop. What is it? What is that even supposed to say?
I don't know.
Because it's too different from healing or...
Yeah.
I can't. Is that censor what I think it is?
I'm just double checking.
I'm thinking it may be DAMN? I'm guessing? Cindy, run from Pastor Dawn! I agree.
It's supposed to be donation.
Uh-huh. But it probably has an A?
Yep. Yep.
So the men's prayer breakfast. No charge, but your damnation will be gratefully accepted. What's happening at this prayer breakfast? Again, this is what I mean. They're all getting in the circle of trust. We have to pray for Sally, right? Like, this is what's happening. Irving Benson, oh gosh, and Jesse Carter were married on October 24th in the church. So ends a friendship that began in their school days. We're taking bets on the divorce now. How long? Everybody, we're gonna make like a how do you put this? Like everybody's just gonna put their bet in a pot, and whoever is closest gets it.
Yeah.
They get all the money, and we'll keep it in the safe for now, and we'll let you guys know. But for now, you know, the sign-up sheet is in the welcome hall.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody make sure leave your name, leave a number you can be reached, where we can fill out the check too, all that stuff. You know, here we go.
Mom messaged me for 86.
Mm-hmm.
He loves people who are hurting.
I don't think that's what it is, Mom. Mom, I love you. I think you're being too nice. I think this was shade. This was someone who really did not like Pastor Dawn and thought that Dawn was hurting people. That's my bet. That's my bet. It's not a simple enough of a typo, right? That's like changing the whole sentence.
Well, it could be people who loves people. No, that's still bad.
Yeah.
I was going to say it could loves people hurting, but that still doesn't.
It's still messed up.
Yep.
We need to be worried about Pastor Don. Please place your donation in the envelope along with the deceased persons you want remembered. All of the visuals in my brain right now. No. Are they big envelopes? Do you only accept an ash format? Cremation only. I'm guessing it's a memorial thing of some kind that, you donate in memory of a person and need to leave their name and stuff. But again, phrasing. Phrasing. I wonder if Pastor Don is responsible for any of them. I'm just saying. Exactly, Kat. Put the cremains in the envelope. Katie, coffin envelopes. Exactly. Oh, gosh. Okay. I think this is the last one. Mm-hmm. This is 90. The church will host an evening of fine dining, superb entertainment, and gracious hostility. I'm guessing hospitality.
Yes.
But hostility.
Yes.
Yes. And I believe that the sermon will be done by Pastor Don. I'm going to say this. Pastor Don is now the pastor that we're going to identify as what is wrong with everything. It's all Pastor Don's fault. Mm-hmm. Because he loves hurting people. And there we go. That's it. Those are all of our bulletins. I cannot believe 100 of you are still here. I love you all. Oh my gosh. Bulletins are fun. Mom, if you're watching, if there's any other ones that you remember, like funny bulletins from your day that we can share with everybody, let me know. Let producer sister know. Because you were on the front lines of all that. You saw many things. Many things. Can we get some love in the chat for producer sister for putting all that together for us? Thank you so much. Much love to you. I'm sure there was a part of that was fun to put together.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There's sometimes I can hear her working on What the Wut and she's just laughing like the entire time. And I'm like, oh no. What am I going to have to try to read? Oh gosh. Well, you guys, we're in last call. This is it. This is the last part. If you got questions, if you got comments, if you got things you want to say, stuff for me, you let me know. Now is the time for that. And my goodness, this has been a stream. There's been a lot in this stream. Yeah. It's been serious. It's been sad. It's been many things. Many things. But I'm glad we got through it all. I'm glad we are all here. Oh, thank you, Katie. Giggle some more, Kim. I will never stop. You can't stop me from laughing. It's not gonna happen. Oh, my goodness. Producer daughter. Yeah, I know. Producer daughter. Oh, producer sister. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Oh, okay. Oh, thank you, Lisa. Lisa Boo just said, this has been brilliant. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Oh, General Scott, thank you for the super sticker of the 1-up of the hippo. So appreciated. Okay, so for future fun streams, we've got the Canadian stuff. We've got the PSA stuff. I kind of want to look at British PSAs now, though, because you guys kind of scared me on that front, but probably in a good way. It'll be a good time. Let me see here. You guys in the chat, you're so funny. Oh, Nicole just said I needed the laughs. I'm glad. Mm-hmm. I'm glad. I'm so, honestly, I think we all do. It's, yeah. Katie just said, will there be a stream on Friday? We're going to have to talk about timing and figure everything out. I think it probably will work, but part of it too is that we're trying to try different time slots. But at the same time, I don't know if even if we did...
I don't think you get an accurate read on a long weekend.
No, you're not going to get accurate statistics on that whatsoever. There's no way. There is no way. Oh, thank you so much to Meg S., I believe, who just sent me a PayPal. That's very kind of you. I so appreciate that. That's very, very kind of you. Just double checking here.
Alias said
Yeah,
sent one.
I'm not sure if.
May not have come through yet.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Um, yeah, if you don't want your name said, I do need you to write your name in the comments so that I can do that for you because I want to make sure that I'm not saying somebody's name that doesn't want it said. Let me see here. Alrighty. Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, everybody watch. Cindy, you're right. Everybody watch out for Pastor Dawn. I am concerned about Pastor Dawn. I am very, very concerned about Pastor Dawn. Okay. Dreadnought just said, what holiday over there is this weekend? It is Labor Day weekend. So at least where I grew up, Labor Day is usually the day before kids go back to school.
Yep.
So that's it's kind of like it's the last day of summer essentially. So a lot of families go away for the weekend or things like that. So, good times. Okay, I think I just got the one from Alias. Thank you for sharing that with me. I'm so sorry. Um, oh, I don't want to. I don't want to read what you sent me because it's definitely I think private and I believe you. I'm sorry and much love to you. I hear you. I feel you. I'm so sorry. And thank you for the PayPal. It is very kind of you. And thank you, King Bob, for the PayPal as well. That's very kind of you too. I really do appreciate it. You guys are wonderful. I mean, I think it's kind of crazy when I think about where we were 30 days ago.
Yeah.
And where we are now. I feel like I have a bit of whiplash still. And we're getting there. We're figuring it all out. And I will say if you guys are the praying type or the good vibes type, like any you've got to send to producer sister and I just as we're figuring stuff out and as our lives change, we're gonna make it all work. We're gonna figure it all out. And I know one of the things you guys kept saying to us when we both got laid off and we lost our aunt and all that stuff went on is, you know, sometimes things happen for the best. And I'm hopeful that that is what's happening. I am. I'm very hopeful that that is what's happening. And it's just a lot. It's just a lot. Oh, Cheryl E just said, pretty curls, Kim. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. Sometimes I just grab them because I feel they get like too stuck together. Like they're not separating and they're driving me nuts. If you do like my hair, I do have all of the products that I use for my hair in my Amazon storefront if you want to see that. So you can see what they are and you can buy them yourself if you want, or if you want, you can buy them through my storefront. I do get a small commission from that, but it's not mandatory, but just kind of lets you guys know what I'm using because I don't like to gatekeep that stuff. It took me so long to figure out all that stuff. All that stuff. King Bob, I did see the PayPal. I'm not sure if there's just a delay, but I did get it. Thank you so much. It's very, very kind of you. I do really appreciate it. Okay. Yeah, I think, and like that type of stuff, I know this is really off topic now, but I've struggled with my hair for like the majority of my life. So it's like once you figure stuff out, it's like don't gatekeep that stuff. Don't gatekeep that stuff. If you gotta share. Share. That's what I like to do. Anything? Let me see here. Oh, King Bob just said, make sure you hit that like button before you go. I almost did. Yes, please consider liking the stream. Please consider subscribing, joining, all that good stuff. Thank you guys so much for choosing us today. I know you've had many other options, and it means a lot to me that you've chosen here to be with us. And I hope we have entertained you and not been uber traumatizing and had a good time. And thank you so much to everybody who has chosen to be here. The views, the likes, the subs, the tips, the joins, the gifts, it all matters. It all adds up. And we so appreciate all of you. And I hope you guys are all doing okay. And producer sister, do you have anything you want to say? Or
no,
I think we've been going for 2 and a bit. Yep. 2 hours and a bit. So I think it's time to wind down.
So what we'll do for Friday is make sure we put out a community post earlier in the day to give you guys some warning of what the plan is and what time and that we're looking at going live. So you'll have a bit of warning.
Yeah. I'm going to try to give some warning for sure. Yeah, I think we're going to be okay. I think we're going to be good for that. So yep. We'll figure it all out. Anyway, thank you guys so much for being here. I am going to roll the outro. Please consider leaving a comment. It makes a huge, huge, huge difference for me in the algorithm because it shows YouTube that this video had interaction not only as a live stream, but also as a standalone video, which really helps me out. So thank you guys so much for being here. Much love to all of you. We'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, guys.